Folks, this is a very short segment and extension to the part 3 of the Solaris 11 zones. In case if you haven't watched part 3, I would strongly encourage you to please watch it before you watch this particular segment, because I'm picking up from where we stopped the part 3 of the Solaris 11 zones in this YouTube playlist. In fact, in part 3, if you recall, we configured 3 zones, and the network address or the network port we assigned to each of the 3 zone was VNICs of a stub that we created. I am on the same machine where we performed the demonstration for the part 3 of the Solaris 11 zones. So if I go and say dladm show -ether stub, I'm able to list the stub in there. I run the command zonadm list -cv, I'm able to list the zones. All of them are in a running state now. If I look at the zone configuration files for each of the zone, let's say it is zones zone 0.xml, you can see that I have assigned a port VNIC 0 from, of course VNIC 0 is from the stub 0, that's not in the configuration file, but we know we created VNIC 0 on the stub 0. Similarly, if I look at zone 1's configuration file, you can see zone 1 is assigned a VNIC 1, and we know that VNIC 1 is created on top of a stub. Similarly, I have zone 2 configuration file, which is again zone 2 has been configured with 2 network port to belong to 2 separate networks, 0.x and 1.x, as we demonstrated in the part 3 of the Solaris 11 zone. So bottom line I wanted to mention here is that each of the zone that you see here has a VNIC from the stub, and we manually created those VNICs on that stub. Now let's shut down each of the zones. Zonadm -z zone 0 halt, let it come down, and while that happens, if I'm able to go to that machine on a different terminal, I run the dladm show -VNIC command. You can see that one of the VNICs is free now, which is VNIC 0, because we brought down zone 0. VNIC 1 you can see is attached to zone 1, VNIC 2 is attached to zone 2, but that status also will change when we halt each of that zone. So zonadm -z zone 1 halt, if I look at the VNIC status, you can see the zone 2 has been detached from VNIC 1. We don't see that status anymore, but now VNIC 2 is showing as attached to zone 2. Again, that status will change if I remove the zone. I mean, if I bring down the zone, halt the zone, not remove the zone. If I go back and look at the status of the VNIC, you can see there are 3 VNICs and the zones are not running. If I go and look at zonadm list -cv, there are 3 zones that uses the VNICs from the stub, zone 0, zone 1, zone 2. All the zones are down, it's halted, but the VNICs are active. Now to be to do this a bit more efficiently, maybe I want I want it in this fashion, that if the zones are down, I don't want that VNIC to be there. I want the VNIC to be created when the zone boots up, and I want the VNIC to be destroyed when the zone shuts down. So here we went ahead and created the VNIC on the stub, and we assigned the VNIC to the zone. Regardless of whether the zone is running or not, the VNICs are there on the system. I don't want that to happen. I want the VNICs to be automatically created on the stub to be assigned to the zone when the zone boots up, and when the zone shuts down, I want that VNIC to be removed from the stub. You know, probably that sounds a bit more efficient than having a number of VNICs displayed regardless of whether the zones are running or not. So what I'm going to do now is to remove these VNICs from the stub to start with, and the reconfigure zones to automatically create those VNICs on the stub when it boots up, rather than having to create the VNICs up front on the stub. So let me first go ahead and delete these VNICs. dladm delete -VNIC 0, VNIC 1 and VNIC 2. If I run show -VNIC, it doesn't show me any VNICs. That is not enough. I would have to go reconfigure my zones. Let me go ahead and do that. Zone CFG minus Z zone 0. If I do an info, it will give me that net 0 is configured with VNIC 0. I'm going to remove that. So remove net, use one attribute, physical is equal to VNIC 0. Now if I say info, it will show me that the network resource for this zone is removed, but I'm going to add, but this time around I'm going to say add not net resource but a net resource. Now in this anet resource, I want the link name of the network port, automatic network port, to be VNIC 0, and I want the backend device on which this VNIC to be created to be stub 0. So I want a VNIC 0 to be created on the stub 0 is what I mean by this resource anet. So the name of the link is going to be VNIC 0, and VNIC 0 is going to be created in stub 0. Remember, we do not have VNIC 0 now. We have removed it from the stub. Now we're going to reconfiguring the zone 0 to create a link automatic net by using the name VNIC 0. The backend device on which this VNIC 0 is going to be created is stub 0. It could be a network port also. Remember, VNIC can be created on a network port. It can be created on a stub. In our case, the backend device where this VNIC is going to be created is a stub. So I'm done. I would say exit. My zone 0 is reconfigured. I just want to show you that there are no VNICs on this machine. We have removed it. The status of the zone says all the zones are in installed state. I'm going to run the command zone 0 boot so that zone 0 boots up. Remember, we have reconfigured the zone 0 to use an automatic net with a link name VNIC 0 that has the backend device to be stub 0. We'll say dladm show -VNIC. You can see zone 0. We have a VNIC 0 created on zone 0 there. Similarly, if I shut down the zone 0 halt, and run the command dladm show -VNIC, you can see that the VNIC no longer exists. Let me show you the resource one more time. You can see that it is automatic net. Let me bring it up. VNIC 0 to be created, lower link is the stub 0 there. So that's probably a more efficient way of handling the network ports in the zones. If you want to create VNICs on devices like the network ports or the stub, you can use the anet, which is automatic net. And in fact, if you look at the sys default template, the default configuration file, you can see that that's exactly the mode used in this default template. Also, if you don't specify any network configuration for a zone that you are creating, it is going to automatically create a net 0 from the automatic network port, so that your network will be configured on that. So I hope this segment, which was an extension to the earlier segment about creating VNICs on the stub and assigning the VNICs to the zone, I hope this segment has taken our understanding to the next level, wherein we don't have to manually create VNICs on a backend device to be assigned to the zone. We can automatically create these VNICs as and when the zone boots up, and then destroy these VNICs. I don't know if destroy is the right word that I could use, but then take that VNIC out when the zone halts. Once again, thank you so much for watching this segment.